So we are officially in week 6, Warrior Women, and I have to admit, I feel a little bit bittersweet about it all. But I do know that it is very, 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 very important for us to make sure that we're going to be finishing strong, which we have 2 weeks left. Don't get it twisted, but this will be the final video that I have for you guys. The rest I'm probably going to have in separate things or whatever. The other 2 videos are actually going to showcase more of a question more than focus on scripture and stuff like that. It's not to diminish the value of scripture, but it's just having an open conversation with what we already discussed and what we already know, and pretty much just how we are going to kind of navigate life now that we have this information, we have this renewed fortitude. So this week we're actually going to be focusing on one scripture, and we're going to marinate in it. And what I mean by marinate is, like, I want you to sit with it, and by the time that we actually have this discussion, that you actively, like, not you actively, but that you've actually kind of let God speak to you and imbue you with wisdom, or just things that he wants you to know and understand about it. Okay, so the scripture in question is another excerpt from Psalms. This is Psalms 139 verse 14, and it says, "I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well." And for me, because at this time you've already heard my testimony, perceiving myself as fearfully and wonderfully made was something that I really struggled with. Having a body that feels like it's constantly at war with wanting to survive or not survive is something that was really hard for me. And every time when I've landed back in the hospital, I got more frustrated because, I felt like a burden. I felt like I was just constantly sick. My husband has been so callous to me going to the hospital that, like, some people may find him heartless, because he's like, "What do you mean you're not with your wife?" And it's just like, well, there's not anything I could really do there. Just kind of there and stuff. And so there's kind of like a lot of unpacking on that, but just to clarify, my husband's a good man and he loves me very much, and he will visit me in the hospital. It's not like he doesn't. But at the same time, it's, it was a sad reality for us. So me perceiving myself as fearfully and wonderfully made was really difficult. And now we are not in such a serious situation with my health, but seeing that I was able to endure those things because God made me durable, but he did still make me fearfully and wonderfully made. It doesn't matter that I have limitations. It doesn't matter that I had to experience a lot of physical craziness, and sometimes it may not be as drastic as my situation, but you might have your own version of your story where you don't know how you're fearfully and wonderfully made. You may not perceive yourself as fearfully and wonderfully made because you've been told all your life, whether by yourself, your peers, maybe the people that were supposed to imbue value into you, that, I'm not really feeling that way about myself, and, I'm not able to do a lot of things. I have a lot of limitations. How could I be fearfully and wonderfully made? But yet, despite those things, that God has, in fact, imbued you with things that you may not be aware of. The fact that you might be able to speak life into somebody, or the way that you're able to handle kids ministry, or any of those things. That makes you fearfully and wonderfully made. The fact that you have the audacity to to be a part of a group that teaches you how to actively learn how to fight. All of these things. Because God made you fearfully and wonderfully made. And I hope to encourage you in that as you sit in this scripture. I would love to know what God has told you about your self-worth with that scripture. And I'll see you guys